This is the first of a series of videos to help show you how to make flashcards to revise AQA GCSE English Language Paper 1. We're going to start with an overview of the whole of the language paper before looking in detail at question 1. You can grab some flashcards like I've got. These are 8 inches by 5 inches. Alternatively, just cut up some A4 paper, that'll work just as well. You can use coloured pens, grab whatever you've got to hand and we'll make a start. So this overview revision card will be a bit like a cover sheet for all of the other revision cards I'll make for every single question of Language Paper 1. I'm reminding myself that Paper 1 is the fiction paper. You have one extract to analyse and the whole exam takes 1 hour and 45 minutes. I'm now in the process of drawing out 5 boxes on the right hand side, where I'll put a brief overview of exactly what to do in each question. My lines aren't the neatest in the world, so don't worry too much if yours aren't either. Then over here, I'm noting down that section A, which is the first 4 questions about the fiction extract, is 1 hour, and then the writing task, section B, is 45 minutes. So next to each question, as you can see, I'm noting down how many marks it's worth, how many minutes approximately I should spend on it, as well as the headline of exactly what to do in that question. So for question 1, it's list 4 things. Question 2, it's language analysis. You'll also notice that I'm adding the AO number next to each question, which is the assessment objective that it assesses. If this doesn't mean anything to you at this point, don't worry, because I'll explain it for each question. So feel free to add it in or leave it out if you prefer. So remember, it goes list 4 things, language analysis, structure analysis, and then question 4, you analyse language and structure, where you agree with a statement and evaluate a section of the insert. It might seem complicated now, but it will make sense when you start to tackle the questions. Now for question 5, the writing task, it'll be a description or a story. You'll have a choice of 2 tasks to answer. But of those 40 marks, 16 of those are for technical accuracy, that's like spelling, grammar, punctuation, and 24 of those are for content and organisation. So that's more what you're writing and how you're organising it. Over here on the left now, I'm going to add a step-by-step guide for how to approach this whole paper. So those are the steps I would take when answering the questions. I'd first of all read the questions, then I'd underline the focus areas identified in each question of the extract. So by that I mean question 1 might just be about lines 1 to 4, so I would underline or draw a box around that. Then I would read the insert up to only question 2, so I can just focus on the section of the text I need for question 1 and 2. Then I would read the whole insert. It's totally up to you the order in which you answer the other questions. I'd recommend doing question 4 and then question 3. Some teachers also like to ask you to do question 5 before you do questions 1 to 4. So if that's the case for you, feel free to change the order in this section. So flipping over onto the back, here's where we're going to do our paper 1 question 1 revision card. And at the top, it's a reminder how many marks, how many minutes, and exactly what to do for this question. So you might remember assessment objective number 1 applies to this question, and that is to identify and interpret explicit and implicit information and ideas. Really though, you just need to remember it's 4 true statements and 1 mark for each point that you make correctly. So as you know from the overview, we need to start by drawing a box around the focus lines in the question, which you should have done at the very start before you even began to read the insert. Lots of people also ask, am I allowed to quote or copy facts from the insert? Yes, you are. You can quote or rephrase as long as you focus on the question. You don't need full sentences, just make sure you're quick but accurate. And here's an example of the 2018 question 1. It is list 4 things about Mr. Fisher from this part of the source, lines 1 to 4, and you can see there's space for the 4 bullet points there. So an example for that paper would be 4 sentences starting Mr. Fisher is, or perhaps Mr. Fisher has. Other examples might be the car is, or she likes if it were another question. It's 4 very short, simple statements. So this question is more about just identifying information that's already there. You don't need to do an inference. You don't need to say this shows or this quote suggests or anything like that. It's really just all about explicit meaning, the words that are already there in front of you in the text. Just retrieving that information is absolutely fine. So there we have our first complete revision card, front and back, the overview of the entire Rev Language Paper 1, and then the question 1 in detail. Make sure you check out the other revision cards in this Language Paper 1 series and head to GCSEEnglishsuccess.com for more revision help.